You're all panicking right now because of the new Contingency Contract. Some of you still even traumatized from the previous one. Well, I've got good news to share with you that there is absolutely no reason to worry, because I'm definitely certain that all of you here are fully capable to get the sweet Risk 18, and I'll tell you why in this video. This video will be an in-depth explanation of the CC Let's Heal permanent map, so spoilers are to be expected. If you've seen other videos that talks about how to prepare, there's this popular strategy being shared around that involves 4 operators only clearing Risk 18, and at very low requirement as well. I personally agree with these videos that if you want to prepare, this is the easiest one to adopt without spending much of your materials. So to better help you out, I'm gonna break down for you why these 4 operators work and what operators you can use to replace them or add to them. Most of the enemies here are from Twilight of Volomonde, meaning to say that they are weak to arts damage. Even the ones not from TOW are weak to arts damage. There are many tags however that plans to screw you over by raising the rest of everyone. Like for example, you have the Risk 1 tag that increases rest by 25 for all enemies. How is that even Risk 1? Then you have resistance increase as well for the golems and also for Big Bob and Mudrock in this map. Usually the rest increase comes combined with defense and HP increases, which goddamn, enemies with high defense and high resistance combined is going to become a recipe for disaster. But that is where a trick of this CC comes into play. If you choose all the tags that do not have resistance increases, that way your casters are gonna remain super powerful for this CC. Let's take a look at this week 1 example, where we take all the possible risks, max them out to the highest risk, and then remove the ones with resistance involved. And just like that, you are left with Risk 20. To note, you have the option of either taking 10 ops squad limit, which is Risk 1, or 7 ops squad limit, or 5 ops deployment limit, both at Risk 2. Whichever you take will affect the squad that you can bring. Oh, hold on, we're gonna remove ASPD -30 because that's pretty bullshit and can easily screw up your run. Oh, and also remove HP up entirely, as checking up HP on enemies have never been a fun thing to do. So it's Risk 16 now. That's not really what we want cause we need Risk 18. Now this is where a second trick comes into play. Notice how there are Risk 3 Mudrock Colossus tags to take. In this CC, there are only 2 Mudrock Colossus, and more interestingly, they only remove 1 HP seal, despite being like a boss of the map. So it's not like Faust or Crown Slayer, who ends your run if you leak them. Because of that, if you remove the HP seal Risk 1 tag and take Risk 3 Mudrock Colossus, you can get yourself Risk 18 just like that. Your strategy can then be to leak both Colossus to get 2 extra free risk. By doing it this way, the enemies do not have gain resistance, only the golems who you will leak, and even though your allies have less attack, your casters are still going to do a great deal of damage to all the other enemies. This is why the 4 operator strategy worked, with 3 out of the 4 being arts damage dealers. Hopefully this explanation helps you to understand why this is the best and easiest approach for Risk 18 this CC. So we have chosen the risk. Who are the operators? Let's base it off this popular strategy that I keep showing. You're going to need a healing defender. The lowest possible one to use is Spot, and the best one will be Zarya. You're also going to need a slower, and preferably one that slows multiple people. In this case, Suzerain is the best option on her skill 2, followed by Podenko and then Istina. Angelina is not recommended as she doesn't attack all the time, but if you choose her, you'll need 1 or 2 more units to support her. Ea Fiella is very default in this strategy because you'll need to use her Volcano 3 times. If you do not use an Ea Fiella, you can replace her with Surtur and another caster to sit in what would have been Ea's range tile. If you don't have an Ea Fiella or Surtur at E2, make sure you have 1 promoted Elite 2 operator on hand so that you can borrow from a friend when you need to. If you don't have enough friends in your account, you are most welcome to join my Discord to find great people to add and also chat with us. I promise I've got a good community for you. Anyways, last one. Click can be replaced by any other single target caster. That meaning to say that you could replace her with Kyobi, Amiya, or Haze for instance. However, Click's stun can be quite vital, so you may have to bring additional operators to compensate for her. Going by this suggestion, this is an example of a squad that I can bring with who I own, which I have Ea Fiela, Kyobi, Saria, and borrowing a Suzerain on skill 2. If DP regeneration is going to kill your squad, bring a Vanguard like a Myrtle or an Elysium, maybe putting his slow to use. If you're having trouble to wipe some enemies and you got some extra handy people in your collection, you can always use a Rosa, Rosmontis, Schwartz, Leonhardt, Postima, Magalan, W, Shirayuki, and Drainer as support on this tile. This tile is largely unaffected by ranged units until the final guy that comes out from the bottom right. You can also panic drop melee units to support like Silver Ash, Spectre, Bagpipe, Chen, Mudrock, and all the fast redeploys. These heli drops can either help you to add more damage to the pack or help you to stall the enemies within your Arts Dealer's range. You can also consider using Ethan and Manticore to slow the enemies down too. A rule of thumb for this permanent map is that anti-air snipers are generally not recommended unless you have buffers for them, since these units have painfully high defense. That is all the preparation tricks that are much more than enough for you to know. When CC officially arrives, I'll be making a Risk 18 playthrough guide that has Ea Fiela as a core 6 star, another with Surtur as the core, and one more with Taunts as the core. The predicted start date of Let's Seal is between 20 July to 23rd July this year, so it is definitely inching close. Look forward to those when they come, and otherwise, that is everything I have for this preparation guide, and hope to see you in the next few videos. Bye bye!